Hey everybody, Vicky Fitch here, your direct sales expert. I am coming to you live from sunny Southern California. Now, if you guys don't know how sunny Southern California is, it is beautiful this time of year. Now, I'm turning on Periscope here to make sure that we can get to some of the comments here because we know that the comments don't always come in like they're supposed to. So, guys, do me a favor. If you guys are here, drop your name in the chat, say hey, so I can give you all a shout out. We are here on 5 different platforms today, and I'm super excited about it. I need you to hit that share button and share this with your friends because today is going to be a rock and roll kind of day, right? It's going to be really interesting, but it's also going to be informative and hopefully thought provoking because that's kind of what we're here for is to try and help each other to think things through, think it a little bit deeper, a little bit different. When we can come up with different perspectives, then we have the opportunity to receive other people's input and to deliver input from us. Hey Ed, welcome to the broadcast. Thanks for being here. And please, again, guys, everybody hit the share key. Um, the share button. If you guys are, depending on what platform you're on, if you're on YouTube, Facebook, Periscope, you guys, you know how to do it. Just drop your name in the chat though, so I can say hey to you. Now, if you're in one of the groups, if you have not given Facebook permission, it will not allow me to see your name. It'll just say Facebook user. So if I call you Facebook user, you'll know that you did not give the permissions that you needed to. I do. The lighting is a little off. I forgot to turn the other lights on. Hey, Lorenzo, welcome to the broadcast. So, okay, so let's kind of dive in for a minute. Today's topic is called "What If You're Wrong?" Right? Hey, Glenda, welcome to the broadcast. What if you're wrong? Now, there's a lot of theories, a lot of concepts, a lot of information that goes around, and then so let's kind of back up a little bit. And where are we coming from? Now, number one, put a one in the chat box if you saw the CPAC conference or even part of it from this weekend. Put a one in the chat box if you saw CPAC. Now, CPAC obviously is a conservative conference, right? And I won't go into the details, although we might touch base on some of the cancel culture that's going on and things that are happening because we'll talk about it. But we need to rewind a little bit to figure out why the world is going berserk, right? And then to ask some questions. Yeah, Glenda got to see it. Hey, Glenda, Ed got to see it. I mean, I was glued to it. I have to tell you, I don't watch TV very much, but I was glued. On Friday, I watched pieces in between work. On Saturday, hey, Lorenzo. But on Sunday, I was glued. Okay, I was glued because I knew President Trump was coming to speak. And the fact is, I wanted to hear what he had to say. I wanted to hear what he had to say. And man, did the world go crazy through this conference, right? If you were seeing different pieces, whether you're a Democrat or Republican, whether you believe or you don't believe, it doesn't matter. People were tuned in for different reasons, right? Hey, William, welcome. I watched part of the Trumps. I just discovered first principle thinking. It seems we all should do. Okay, so there's lots of different reasons that people tune in to things, whether, like, I'll be honest, for me, it's really hard for me to stomach anything that Joe Biden does. And Jen Psaki, her press briefings, I want to pull my hair out. I just want to if you, circle back, circle back, It's like you can make make something out of it. It's difficult. It's difficult to actually stomach. And Joe stumbles through so many things. I feel like I don't get any meat of the conversation, right? And so, as we're looking at what's going on in the world today, I'll circle back, William, as we talk about these things and we figure out what in the world is going on, right? And why are people calling people names and accusing people things? Okay, so if you saw any of the conference, or even if you didn't, you've probably seen on social media these. I think I'm so sad to say that I think at least what I saw started with Alyssa Milano, and I used to like Alyssa Milano. I really did. I thought she was adorable. Way back when she was on the show with Tony Danza. I don't remember the name of it right off the top of my head, but I've seen her in other things, and I always thought she was adorable, and I really liked her. And then I see this post that she puts out, and this is important because like, where did this come from? I don't know, but let's just talk about it for a minute. Suggesting that the conference, which was a diamond shape, and if you guys know, put a 3 in the chat box if you've ever spoken on stage. Put a 3. All right. A diamond stage, right? Pointing gives you an opportunity to have a little bit closer access to your audience on, both sides. So if you're standing up there, some people like rounded stages. Sometimes you just do different stage setups. But a diamond shape, or where it's pointed in the front, Alyssa is the first one I know, said that it was that everyone that was at the conference was Nazis, and this was a Nazi symbol, some old the Nazi rune symbol, and I can't remember the other. I mean, it was so preposterous to suggest it's not like it was a swastika in black, it was a diamond shape. And to try and create and then showing pictures of the collar on it, the SS guys uniform. I mean, it was one of the most outrageous, deranged things I've seen, right? And by the way, thank you guys for being here. We are on 5 different platforms. If you haven't yet, please hit the share button. It's really important. You guys know I've been in Facebook jail for a while. My reach has been very limited. And of course, I've been sharing out a lot lately about what's happening. And get, our buddies at FB don't like it too much. So I need you guys to help me out. All right. And grab the link later if you want to share it privately, whatever. But let's get the message out because this is a really important one today. So they're suggesting that everyone there was Nazis and, it's got to stop. And then they want to cancel the hotel that let them there. I mean, it is nutty McNuts out there right now. So you're not allowed to have a conference. You're not allowed to have a stage set up that could resemble any kind of symbol or something that could offend someone. I mean, I don't even know where to go with it. I really don't. It's so ridiculous. It's just like, I mean, let's just add it into the whole, nipping off Mr. Potato Head. Can I get a 2 or 3, 4? Let's go 4. 4 in the chat box if you guys thought that was nuts. Saying Mr. Potato Head. Now we're going to go into potato. We're going to go to Potato Head. I mean, our people. I get that Hasbro backed up and says that they've decided that they're going to leave Mr. Potato Head alone. But what in the ever-loving world are we thinking when we're now getting offended by a potato? A potato. A potato. This is nuts. Yes, Dr. Seuss is on the chopping block if you haven't seen. They're canceling Dr. Seuss because of racial undertones. And if I didn't read the rest of the article, but I saw something identifying about the green. And one, I don't remember which story it was, but it's like people. We have to be able to deal with conflicts in the world. And if Dr. Seuss is doing it with green people, the lemming people, this, that, would you just stop? I mean, just fitch slap yourself and come to your senses because this is nutty McNuts. Okay, so Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head, and I was saying, okay, if they want a different potato, let's go with Transtater. Okay, Transtater is fine. Just don't take away Mr. and Mrs. Then what are you going to do? Then you got to back up and we got to delete all. We have to remove all the Toy Story movies because Mr. Potato Head and Mrs. Potato Head made some appearances there. They actually were participants in the storyline. So what are we going to now? We got to take away Toy Story. We got and again, I'm pretty pissed off at Disney. So I don't have a problem with nipping them in the bud, but for what they did with Gina Carano. But the fact is that now we're just rolling downhill. We're taking away books. We're taking away, we're stopping people from our freedom of speech is just going out the window. But my point with this part is, what if, right? What if you're wrong? So I want to go back for a minute and kind of, like I promise, I'll circle back. We'll circle through. I spit my tea out later, Transtater. I was thinking Transtater and Tater Tot, right? So they can be neutral. You could do whatever you want with them, but leave Mr. and Mrs. alone. I still have a Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head in my garage from when my kids were little. I like to dress them up sometimes when I'm doing things like I do with Murphy, although Murphy's head's cut off. We do different, if you guys watch any of our social media, we create a lot of our own content. I take the photos and dress Murphy up in things. I got the potato gang, going on. I was afraid I might get canceled just for having Mr. Potato Head in something. But there's so many things that we've got to do to start recognizing, what's happening here. And so the what if came from a song. Now, I don't know. Do you put a 5 in the chat box if you've ever heard of Nicole Nordeman? Put a 5 in the chat box. Glenda says, I am too. They want to redo Jungle Cruise. Like, really? Just hey, I'm back. Welcome to the broadcast. Thanks for being here. And I'm sorry if I'm missing something. They want to redo Splash Mountain. Like, you know what? Just build a bridge and get over it, people. This is ridiculous. If there are things, there are historical things, right? And like, I remember the movie Roots when I was, I think I was in junior high. Maybe I was in high school when Roots came out. But I remember that movie making me sob. Like, I cried because I didn't get it. I did not get the pain that slaves went through. Like, I understood that they were slaves, and like, when you're a kid, you got to try and put things together. And some books, I think, tell you a piece. And hey, Marsha, welcome to the broadcast. But I didn't get it, right? Or I didn't feel it. I didn't feel the pain when I watched Roots and I watched Kuta Kinte. I bawled. I bawled my ever loving eyes out because I felt that pain, right? I felt the hurt. I felt the ridicule. And so I was able to then from the movie understand something that I didn't fully understand prior, or that I wasn't capable of understanding because I hadn't experienced it until I saw something. So us trying to remove history and pretend that it doesn't exist or that it didn't exist is not going to change our future for the better. It it desensitizes us. Thank you for sharing, Marcia. It desensitizes to us to the possibilities of what's happening in our life. It desensitizes us to recognizing where we've gone wrong in the past. And I can tell you right now, we are going way wrong in this current day and age. We are nuts. I mean, like I said, I am not going, yeah, Little House on the Prairie, right? Isn't this what is going on with this world today? So that's why I started this show, Step Up, Stand Out, and Speak, right? Because somebody's got to do it. And maybe you're not bold enough to do it. Maybe you are. I know, William, you've taken some bold changes lately. And I know it's scary, right? Can I remove my credit history? Good one, William. But we've got to do it, because if we don't, then when we're on the chopping block, how do we expect other people to stand up for us? Because we're all going to be there someday. I mean, the way things are going right now, we're all going to be in the chopping block someday. And don't you want someone to stand up for you? Sorry, guys. Don't you want someone in your corner, or at least someone on the sidelines that recognizes how ridiculous what's happening is, and that you're not alone? I mean, put a 6 in the chat box if you get what I'm saying. I don't want to be alone, and I know you guys don't want to be alone. And I'm putting myself out there to help, right? There's so many people who feel the same, right, Marsha? I'm putting myself out there to help because I want to give a voice. And if you guys have a different opinion, I'm willing to listen to you. I want to hear it. I would never intentionally make fun of people. I do use a little sarcasm, especially with my little troll patrol going on, because I got a troll out there that, Lord help us. That guy he's lost his marbles. I think he's Joe Biden's brother. He can't keep his thought on what topic he's talking about, and it gets really crazy. But I wouldn't intentionally try and hurt people, right? So if I ever make a statement that someone feels offended by, I hope someone will tell me and just say, "Hey, Vicky, that really hurt my feelings." And then we can talk about it, and I can apologize that your feelings are hurt, but not necessarily apologize for what I said, because maybe what I said wasn't wrong. And if you took it in a certain way, I'm going to apologize that you feel bad, but I'm not going to publicly say, "Oh my gosh, I'm a racist." I am not a racist, people. I'm not a racist. I'm not a racist. Never been a racist. Not going to be a racist. I don't believe people are better because of skin color, hair color. I don't believe that with people, right? Yes, it is, Robert Glinda. We're all people. And if we can recognize the value of people, then we can all get along. And we're not all going to be best friends. We don't have to be best friends, but we can treat each other with dignity and respect. I mean, I'm not going to agree with everything you say. You're not going to agree with everything I say, but can we treat each other with respect? I mean, and if I say something insensitive and you share it with me privately and say, "Hey, I felt hurt that you were talking about blondes," which I don't do, but you're talking about redheads. And I just thought you just really didn't put us in a good light. And I would say, "I'm so super sorry you feel that way. It's something that meant something to me, and that's why I shared it." Or it was a joke and it wasn't meant anyway. It doesn't matter, right? But the fact is that we have to be cognizant of other people, but we don't have to make public apologies for things we didn't do wrong. When I saw that girl, when the Black Lives Matter people were there telling this white girl to get on her knees and beg for forgiveness, I would have thought, you are kidding me. Like, this girl actually got down on her knees. Now, was she scared and she was afraid that someone was going to hurt her? Or is she really brainwashed enough to believe that she's a racist? Because let me tell you, if you're a racist, you're not getting down on your knees to say, "I'm sorry." So if you're not getting down on your knees to say you're sorry because you're not a racist, why are you on your knees saying you're sorry when you aren't a racist? Are you guys with me? I mean, put a 7 in the chat box if you're with me, because I know it's Everything's going off the rails, right? We are unique in our own way, Marcia, and that's totally cool. It's amazing. And I have no problem with everybody being different. We're all different. William, he's got dreads in his hair, right? William's black, he's got dreads in his hair. He rocks that look. He looks totally cool, right? I'm a white girl. I'm a 6 foot tall white girl with red hair. So, I'm different. There's not too many people that look like me. Glenda's a tall, very tall blonde woman, right? It's like we are who we are. I like you guys. I mean, I don't maybe even know some of you, but I like you. We could be friends, right? And so, you're welcome, William. And so the point is that we got to get it together, right? And we got to remember that we address things with such judgment sometimes. Like that's my troll, Robert. And if he watches this, then yes, Robert, we're speaking about you because you really make a good point that we need to be able to address things and we need to be able to kind of stay on topic and try and figure out what the actual problem is, but we can't. You're Glenda's 6'3". See, I'm 6 foot redhead. Glenda's 6'3" and blonde. So, we're different. There's not too many girls that are 6'3", like my girl Glenda. Okay. So going back here, I see some of you guys have blocked Robert. I totally get that. And I totally understand why you blocked him. I feel like ramming my head against the wall sometimes. Yet now we're responsible for slavery because we are white. This reparations bill that I heard about today, I did not get a chance to do research on it. I got to tell you, I'm going to completely come unglued. Do I have a problem with people getting paid back for things that have happened? I don't. Do I think that me and my ancestors for the rest of my life should be paying for what happened in past generations that was that's something that people around the world did? There's so many people that don't even know our actual where things came. Did you guys know that when the United States started, that slavery was common practice around the world, and that when the United States was started, they didn't want to have slavery, but they couldn't take away the slaves from all the people that were here. And I can't remember which president. Charlie Kirk did a great thing at our church on it. And if you guys want it, send me a message and I will get it for you. Explaining the history in about 3 minutes. I think it was like maybe 3 or 4 minutes, going over who did what and how it happened, that this country was not based on slavery. This country wanted to get rid of slavery from the get-go, had a 20-year stay. I'm telling people that you will not have any more. They won't bring any more here, but you will actually have to get rid of your slaves by this day. And the very first day after the first day after the 20th year when that was put in, the president said, that's it. There's no more. So the country wasn't founded on slavery. And so, but we're not being taught history in school. Our kids aren't even being taught at all right now. Things are going crazy, right? And so we're confused about our actual history and where it came from. And if you're not familiar, like I'm fairly familiar, and there's a lot of stuff I didn't know. So when I hear other experts, then I'll go research it and verify that what they say is true, so I don't get caught up in the rhetoric of what other people are saying, right? Tall Nordics. Yes, William. You ladies remind me of the legend of the talk. There you go. A Democratic president intern Japanese Americans, any reparations for them? I think we actually did pay some of the Japanese reparations, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong, but it was current day. Those people were still alive that it had happened to. And so those reparations, and somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that they were alive or just recently, moved through the process that started while they were still alive, not from 200 years ago, right? And so we've got to recognize that there's a bit of insanity that goes on when we start trying to take every problem the world ever had and address it all at once. I mean, it's just crazy. So back to this question I said to you guys: what if you're wrong, right? So I don't know if any of you guys are Christians. You certainly don't have to tell me you are or aren't. That's totally your own business. I'm a Christian. And, there are times in people's lives that people are very timid about admitting that they're a Christian because they don't want to be called names like Jesus freak or, whatever. I don't know. All kinds of names, all kinds of things people say. For me, I'm confident in who I am as a Christian. Maybe as a baby believer, you could have. I don't know. I've believed since I was a kid, although I didn't have a personal relationship with Christ until I was older, until I was in my 20s. As a Christian, thanks, Ed. But the fact is that I don't allow people to shake my world because I believe what I believe, right? I'm happy to have a conversation. As a matter of fact, I've had debates with people. I'm not a biblical scholar, but I've had debates with people on Christianity or on the merits of it, because it's really just, yeah, I am a target. I am a target, but that's okay. I don't care. It really doesn't bother me. As a matter of fact, the Bible is very clear about that too, that if you're going to be crucified, you should be crucified for Christ, right? That if you guys want to persecute me, knock yourselves out. But the point is that people call you names, right? They call you Jesus freak, you crazy person, you believe in something you can't see, whatever, right? So it took a long time for people to start becoming more open or more secure about their faith. But there's a great song by Nicole Nordeman, and I'm going to read you a few of the words because I want you to hear it, because it super relates to right now. So bear with me, would you? Because I think, and again, where are we at, a 7? I think we're at a 7, 8. Put an 8 in the chat box if you've ever heard the song "What If" by Nicole Nordeman, because I'm going to read you some words really quick and then show you how it relates to what's going on right now. And remember, if you haven't hit the share button yet, do a girl a solid, hit the share button and let's talk. So I will drop, as a matter of fact, I will drop a link with the lyrics and stuff in the chat in just a second. But here it is. It says, what if you're right? And we're talking about Jesus here. What if he was just another nice guy? What if you're right? What if it's true? They say the cross will only make a fool of you. And what if it's true? What if he takes his place in history with all the prophets and the kings who taught us to love and came in peace, but then the story ends? What then? But what if you're wrong? What if there's more? What if there's hope you never dreamed of hoping for? What if you jump, just close your eyes? What if the arms that catch you by surprise? What if he's more than enough? What if it's love? Right? What if you dig way down deeper than your simple-minded friends? What if you dig, and what if you find 1,000 more unanswered questions down inside and that's all you find? What if you pick apart the logic and begin to poke the holes? What if the crown of thorns is no more than folklore that must be told and retold? But what if you're wrong? So we're going to go back to this and relate it, right, to what's going on right now. Like everybody, that if you're a conservative right now, you are a conspiracy theorist. Boom. Nothing, there's nothing else to say about you. If you like President Trump, you're a conspiracy theorist. If you like conservative things, you are a conspiracy theorist. And you're a racist, and you're probably a white supremacist. And, and the list goes on. You are who they say you are. Are you with me? Put a 9 in the chat box if you're with me. You are who they say you are. You are, because you're not allowed to believe what you believe. You're not allowed to believe that President Trump was a good president. You're not allowed to believe that there was election. You know what? If I say it, I'm in trouble, right? Thanks, Marsha. You're not allowed to believe that the evidence that you saw with your own eyes, either on the news or listened to with videos or watched things, you're not allowed to believe that, or you're a conspiracy theorist, right? You guys, and a domestic terrorist. That's right. You shouldn't be able to fly. You shouldn't be able to. Oh yeah, we're Nazis too. If you like, I got to tell you, if I was in Florida, I would have went to that. I would have went to CPAC. I would have been right there. I would have been right there, and I was sitting on my couch whoo, 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 hooting and hollering, right? Because I am a fan. I was not a fan of President Trump's when this all started, back in 2016. Well, when he was running before that, I wasn't a fan. I became a fan. Now, do I love everything he does? I do not. But am I sick and tired? Like, let's look at, I call him EO Joe, and I think you guys probably know what that means. EO Joe is my nickname for him, so I don't get banned all the time. When you use the B word, you get banned. So EO Joe has gone in and really dealt the world a blow with his mighty pen. He's gone. He's like Newsom, Nutty McNuts. That's what he's gone, is Nutty McNuts. And so what if you're wrong? That's what I want to ask you. So I know many of you guys here are watching me are conservatives. Those of you guys that are lurking, I totally know that you guys, you might not be, and you might be throwing things at your screen right now and saying Vicki's an idiot and she's a conspiracy theorist and whatever. Am I really? Am I a conspiracy theorist because I know what happened at my poll station here with the Sharpies. I know what happened with the thing that says you can't use Sharpies and the people handing them out. So does that make me a conspiracy theorist? I know what happened to friends of mine personally on the ground that were poll watchers, couldn't get in. That does that make me a conspiracy theorist? I don't think so. Me wanting to make sure that people have signature verification and that we make sure that only legal votes count, does that make me a conspiracy theorist? Okay. I mean, if that's what you believe, you get to believe it, right? I watched him Wednesday. I missed him Sunday because we were watching this. We're gonna watch him tonight. But I mean, you can say whatever you want, but what if you're wrong? I'm just, like again, and we can ask these same questions to your friends or your trolls that are asking you these things and saying, you're a conspiracy theorist, you're a white supremacist, you're a racist, you're a whatever. You know, do we really deserve those terms? Because what? Because we don't agree with you? Because we saw something with our own eyes? I mean, because everybody is not a lemming. I mean, you know, you don't have to believe what someone else believes to be okay. And for other people to try and dictate that you're not okay unless you're on board with them, that's a problem, guys. And we have to be able to step up, stand out, and speak. So, what if you're wrong? So, if we can ask that, just like when we're talking about the other thing. So, with Nicole Nordman, when she asked stuff, kind of like the Bible, we're digging and poking and asking questions, which we always should be. You should never believe what you hear from someone else. You should look it up in the Bible yourself. You should dig and poke around, right? So when it's asking here and says, what if you dig and what if you find 1,000 more unanswered questions down inside, right? We're looking at the voter, more people voted than were registered to vote. I don't think that's being a conspiracy theorist. I think that means something's wrong. Did was the election stolen? I don't know. But I can tell you there's a lot of evidence that points to that possibility, and therefore, why, if you're into truth, why are you so opposed to digging around? Why are you opposed to poking holes? Why are you opposed to trying to figure out what truth is, right? Why are you opposed? So when people start calling you a conspiracy theorist, or they start telling you that you're wrong, or that you're a white supremacist, or that you're prejudiced, or if you know that you're not, like I know I'm not, you can say whatever you want, and like I don't care. I mean, if everybody in the world started saying it, I'm sure my feelings would get hurt because I would feel misunderstood or upset. But it is what it is. I know who I am. What all lies within us, Marcia? What do you mean? White supremacy? I don't think so. I don't agree. I don't know if that's what you're talking about. If you've ever read, I'm going to read your comments really quick, but if put a, I don't know, let's go back to a one. Put a one in the chat box if you've read the book or heard of the book White Fragility. Put a one in the chat box, okay? A one in the chat box if you've read White Fragility. Being your own person. Oh, lies with, yes, absolutely, Marcia. I totally agree. You have to show ID to get in the Capitol complex, the People's House. Right. Well, right now, I think, with the razor wire, I'm pretty sure you're not invited anymore. Like, we can't go to the Capitol anymore because of the insurrectionists. Now, were there some people that were insurrectionists? Sure. But are we now pinning that all Trump supporters or all conservatives are now insurrectionists? I mean, are we really falling for that? Are we falling for people get to say whatever they want, like Mr. Potato Head? Like, really, we have to take away Mr. Potato Head and Mrs. Potato Head's gender? I don't understand. I'm going to be 100% honest with you guys. I do not understand the concept of 76 genders or whatever it says we have. I really don't. I don't even get it a little bit because I think I shared out a thing the other day Glenn Beck had done. I've never even heard of all these genders. I'm not even sure where you can get the listing of the genders, right? But he was going over them, and like 5 or 6 of them all were the same. They're just saying the same thing in a different way because then that's what they were saying. Okay, wait. If you're confused, you're not a male, you don't think you're male or you're female or you're this, that. Anyway, I can't remember. So again, I'm not attacking them, but I'm saying you can't You can't in sales, they talk about like reduce it to the ridiculous, right? We maybe a triplicative choice, three choices, a good, better, best kind of concept, right? That you can give people choices. And the reason they say that is because people get overwhelmed when they have too many choices, right? We've always had two genders, male and female. And the Bible talks about them, and male and female, he created them. I get that some people feel different in their bodies. I understand hormone imbalances. I understand different things. There's lots of different things that can happen to a person. But for us to then try and make each one of those adjustments a gender is overwhelmingly confusing to me. I mean, overwhelmingly confusing to me. And if I, as an adult, and a pretty intelligent adult that articulates myself well, am confused, how then am I supposed to help a child that I'm raising to identify what's going on? And for just 1 second, even my friends, I know people, I have friends that are transgender, I have friends that are, I don't care. You guys you're allowed to be who you are. You're always allowed to be who you are. Even they don't agree with many of the things that are going on here. That many of the things that are being suggested, that children, for instance, should be able to start gender reassignment surgery without their parents' consent. I mean, first of all, every book on psychology, every book on body chemistry, on the way the brain's formed and how long it takes for it to be fully functional and your executive function to kick in, children have zero. How was I going to put that? I was going to say they have zero ability, but they don't have zero ability. They should have zero ability to choose whether or not they want to be male or female when they're children. Their executive function hasn't kicked in. Their brain isn't fully formed. If people want to make a decision after they turn 18 years old, that's one thing. But this new health manager, I forgot, what's her name? Dr. Rachel Levine thinks that children should be able to start gender reassignment. This is already happening here in California. We already have that law on the books that that children, and the state pays for it, because it's again nutty McNuts. It is child abuse for you to allow a child to start doing suppression hormones when they're children. And think about this, people. If their parents don't know, and little Sally starts acting weird because she thinks she's Sal, and the teachers at school know she thinks she's Sal, but her parents don't know, and then she starts, growing beard hair or something, and her parents are freaked out and bringing her to the doctor because that's not normal if you're not doing different, if you're not taking hormones to produce that result. What kind of world are we living in when parents who can be sued for allowing their children to be heard are now, the state has taken over and is putting them through mental and emotional changes they're not prepared for? That is child abuse, in my opinion. That's 100% child abuse. When you're an adult and you want to make a decision, it's one thing. But if now we're not just telling kids that there's, they can switch genders. Now there's 76 genders and you can switch I mean, how could we not create incredibly confused children? There's so much to learn in the world today anyway. Relationships, and how to connect with other people, and how to figure out who you are and what you want to be and what you want to do. And now we're throwing decisions on them that are too big for their minds. The kids don't worry about this stuff. You watch parents are making these changes. I don't know if you saw that show they had. I don't remember what I saw it on. I think it was either a Ben Shapiro episode or something. There's an actual documentary that was done about kids and the parents encouraging them to do this gender reassignment surgery. And it's horrific. I mean, again, when people are adults, they get to make their own choices. When they're children, that's what we're there to do, is guide and direct them. And if now we're saying the health teachers are going to be teaching 78 genders, and I say 78, I really don't know how many there are. Does anybody know? I mean, it's an outrageous number. it's not in the single digits, right? It's not in the even in the single digits. Um, let's see. We are at war for the existence of this republic, just not with bullets and bombs, at least not yet. You know what? But it's so sad. I think we are on the verge. If we don't get things taken care of, I'm afraid we are. EO Joe said there are three, just not what they are. He said there's three genders, or he said there's three what? What? Because I know that was a while ago. Concentration camp medicine. So, guys, there, like I said, we got to be able to talk about this without being called a racist, without being called like I mentioned my friend Williams, his dreads, right? I, I'm sure if somebody takes a little snippet of that, they can tell you that I'm a racist. I'm not a racist, just so we're all clear. And then somebody else said, I heard somebody say, well, if you say you're not a racist, then you are a racist because thou dost protest too much. But that's just nonsense. And the book White Fragility, if you guys haven't read it, hey, Colin, welcome to the broadcast. If you haven't read it, well, I don't recommend reading it. I read it because somebody asked me to read it. And then I wanted to ram my head through the wall while I was listening to it because I was listening to it on audio. Basically, just so you know, in case you don't know, you're either a racist or a racist in denial. That's it. Those are the only two options you've got with white fragility. You're a racist or a racist in denial. So it's a joke. I mean, it's the never ending, you can't win. It's like trying to brainwash you. No, we're not racist. I don't think most people are racist. I think there are some horrible people out there that I have to believe because we aren't born that way. We do not come out of the womb hating other people's colors. We just don't. Or the way their eyes look, or their skin looks, or their hair looks. We don't come out of the womb that way. So we are trained that, right? From parents or relatives or books or teachers or TV. We do not come out of the womb that way. So we are not inherently racist. I don't believe it. I don't believe it for a second. We're not racist, but we do learn it somewhere. Right now, what we're learning on TV from the media is that anyone who says they're not a racist is a racist. Anyone that is white is a racist or a racist in denial. Anyone that talks to anyone of another race and the other person doesn't like it, you're a supremacist, a racist. I mean, it's it get people are getting to the point. I have friends that say, I'm afraid to talk to black people because I don't want them to say I'm a racist. And I was like, well, I get their thing. They watch TV, they watch what was happening where a man and a woman were standing in line to get some food. They turned around, looking around like we all do and smiled. They smiled at a black girl behind it and she goes, "You think you're better than me?" And she started screaming at him. And they're like, I don't want to be that person. I don't want people to say I'm a racist because I made eye contact with someone of a different color. This is nuts, people. You should be able to care about people. I can't tell you that somebody isn't going to go off half cocked on you. I don't know. But you shouldn't change who you are. You should not change. Now, if you're walking around flipping people off or making racist comments, then I recommend you do change. But if you're just being you and the other people are so triggered by whatever else is going on, you have to be the one to step up, stand out, right? You have to be the one that says, I'm not going to be that person. I didn't do anything wrong. I'm not going to apologize for something I didn't do wrong. I'm sorry you're upset, but I didn't do anything. I smiled at you. If smiling is now the new form of racism, then you can call me whatever you want because I am a smiler and I'm a hugger. I know, color me crazy, if I meet you, unless you say no, because I will ask now with COVID. Before I didn't really ask, I just hugged people. Now with COVID, I'll say, "Oh, do you hug?" If they say yes, I give them a hug. Otherwise, I won't. But that's who I am. Who are you? That's what I want to know. Who are you? And are you okay to step up, stand out, and speak? Are you okay to say, "Hey, I I like people. I like people of all colors and all races and all sizes and all heights, and I like people because people are cool. Even the crazy people that are the trolls, I even like them because we have troll conversions and some of them come around and then it's super cool. But we have to be who we are, guys. We can't continue to allow people to abuse us and try and brainwash us or brainwash our kids, right? I'm not a racist. I'm not a white supremacist. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm a person. I'm a person that's able to use my own mind. I'm able to engage my own heart, my own common sense. I'm able to use my eyes to dig a little deeper. I'm able to use my intellect to ask some really good questions. And that's okay. And if you can't accept that, then you need to look a little deeper at what's going on with you. Why can you not accept questions? Do you want truth? Do you want to know the truth? Because I can tell you, I'm a truth seeker. I want to know the truth. People have asked before, and I promise I'll look at your comments in a second. And if you haven't already, please hit the share button for me, guys. That, people say, if your spouse was cheating on you, would you want to know? Well, I would like to stick my head in the sand if something like that was happening because nobody wants to deal with that. But I had it happen to me. My ex-husband, I was only married for a year. If you guys have read my books, he cheated on me, right? I don't want to be the dumb girl that doesn't know that your man is stepping out, right? I don't want to be that girl. Hey, instinct, welcome to the broadcast. So I want to know the truth. Some people don't. That's okay. That's your choice. But don't call me names. Don't tell me that I'm wrong because I want to know. I want to know. If there's election fraud, I want to know. If Trump is a liar and a thief, I want to know. If Joe Biden is is senile, I want to know. I want to know the truth. And I want people to step up and accept responsibility for what they've done and who they are. And it sucks, right? Because none of us want to deal with any lie we told or any embarrassing thing. I mean, we don't want to, but that's the measure of who you are as a person. If you're strong enough to go, like somebody bring up something from your past, and instead of pretending it didn't happen, going, oh my gosh, yep, that was me. I did that. I'm not proud of it. That's not who I am now. That that's 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 who we need to be. That's people that are mature and people that have grown, right? We just don't have enough of those people around. Glenda says, I love to smile and give hugs. I'm a happy, good luck person and I talk loud. You do talk loud, but you are a bundle of energy, Glenda. I absolutely adore you. As you know, I miss the fact that you're here in California. We'll have to come and visit you in Arizona, but you are a bundle of light. You are a joy, and you're kind, and you're considerate, and um, anyway, I adore you. Ed said, "Did you see the story of the New York Times reporter that got fired for saying the N word? He gave his side of the story. I did not, Ed. I want to see that. Um, but like, guys, we have to. I have a friend of mine. I don't know if I should even mention this, but he was running for office, and um, again, this is not me deciding. And I think, I don't know, William, are you still here? He has some friends just that were, I don't know, college. I can't really speak to this. I know this sounds really weird, but let me try and tell you the story. Um, the political slant came out because in college they had a discussion about the N word came up as a conversation in college. If hey, now's the time. Welcome to the broadcast. If you and your friends have a discussion about a word, I don't think that should be used against you. You're not calling people names. So if you're talking about the N words, bye, Glenda. If you're talking about the N word, and like I won't say it, but I also I don't swear. So I don't say swear words. I spell them out or whatever. And am I a Pollyanna? No, but I don't wanna say them because I don't want that getting in my head. I don't even wanna hear myself say it. I don't like it. Right? And that's okay. I don't like it. It doesn't mean anything bad. So if you hear me swear, I guess you know I was really, really losing it or something. I don't know, but I wouldn't say it. And I think there's words that are really vulgar, like the N word, I think is vulgar. And I think that that is something that we've learned the vulgarity of it, but it is confusing why Black people can call themselves that. Like, I don't quite get that. I also don't get why girls call each other the B word. I I don't get that. If you're my friend, don't call me that because it's like that's just weird, right? That to me, that's weird. So we've got to check this out and say, wait a minute, we should be able to have a conversation. I tried to have a conversation with another one of my friends, another kind of a friend that was Black, and asked them the question about the movie Roots. If is that weird to show your kids the movie Roots so you can have a conversation about it so they can really understand? Because I just told you guys what an impact it had on me. And instead of having that conversation, I got this weird backlash about how I shouldn't even ask the question. And I was like, why? Why can't I ask a question? How do questions make you racist? No. Questions are questions. If you don't ask a question, then you won't know the answer. And if you don't ask a question, maybe to multiple people, you may have a very narrow answer. You might not have a broad spectrum. You should be able to ask whatever questions you want. If you're not asking a question and attacking someone or calling someone or doing something like that, then those that's what questions are for. I A lot of my team is in the Philippines. I'm always asking them questions about their culture, about what holidays they celebrate, how do they celebrate, what does that mean to them? It's not prejudice, it's a question, right? So why have we gotten afraid of questions? And so when we turn it around to the question of the night is what if you're wrong? What if you're wrong about whatever side you're on, right? What if you're wrong about racism, right? You So what if I'm wrong and white fragility is correct? That I'm a racist or a racist in denial? Okay, I'll take the question, and then I go, well, what is racism? Do you think you're superior to other people? No, I do not. And you can go through all the questions, and then I could come out and go, that book is incorrect. I have determined I'm not a racist. Do you guys see what I'm saying? It's the nonsense that I see these people on TikTok and saying, of course we're racist. We're white. We have all this privilege. Do I think that there are privileges in the world? I do. Do I think it's all because you're white? No. Sometimes it's where you live. Sometimes it's the company you keep. Sometimes it's other thing. But if you use whatever advantages you have in life, whether that like I'm tall, right? Some people hate to be tall, but being tall I find is an advantage. Do I feel like I'm tall privileged? No. Um red hair. Red hair sometimes gets people to ridicule you, but I personally like it. I am fiery. I have a zesty personality. So am I redhead privileged? I mean, do you guys see what I'm saying? I'm not saying that there's no prejudice in the world. I'm not saying that at all. But if we stop identifying that who we are is based on the color of our skin or how tall we are or whatever what we do, then we can start getting down to the like what Martin Luther King said, the character, the content of our character. And that's what I try and do as a Christian. I have an audience of one, and that's Jesus Christ. So my job every day is to honor him through my actions, through my words, through my ability to speak, through my determination to step up, stand out, and speak, and not be silent on issues that I think are hurting our country and our friendships and our relationships. We've got to be different, and I don't want to harp on it anymore, but I just want to ask you that question. What if you're wrong? And what if the people that are talking to you about your conspiracy theory or your supremacy or whatever, ask them some questions and stop accepting their answers and don't attack them because it doesn't work, right? Then you just, then, then they all gang up on you and you're guilty because you don't know how to defend yourself with 150 people. It's not true. If you're not a racist, don't accept responsibility for being a racist. If you think you might be a racist, ask somebody you trust. Ask me. I'll ask you some questions and help you identify because if you are, you need some help. You learned that somewhere. You weren't born with it. So we got to figure out where you learned it and help you, kind of quit change the lens. If you've read my books like Evict the Bully in Your Head, we talk about the lenses that you put on. Ed says, "Love your program. Please post that good Patriot video I sent you and look up New York." I will do that. Context is key, and I'm guilty of condemning him and being happy he got fired before I knew the context. Have a good night. Bye, Ed. We are about to sign off, guys. I really appreciate you guys being here. I appreciate you hitting the share button. I will be back tomorrow. We got some other really good content stuff coming up that we have to remember again. The fight for the good fight is so we can have unity. I don't think EO Joe, aka Captain Unity, has any unity in mind for us. We have to work on the unity. We're the ones that have to bring each other together, and we have to represent who we are and what we want to stand for. So, guys, I appreciate each and every one of you, and I want to remind you, like I always do, to dream it, believe it, and achieve it. Ciao. See you guys later.